Salamun alaikum, peace be upon you. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, I am very delighted to be here again at Tangaza University and with you. The first time I came here was 2017. We had two half-day programs. We had two half-day programs at the University of Tangaza on the side of eighth round of Catholic Shia dialogue, which we had with DEAM, which is standing for Monastic Interreligious Dialogue. And thanks to God, from the very first encounters we had with our brothers at Tangaza University, and in particular Father Innocent, we felt a very good level of mutual understanding, love, and brotherhood. And it was decided that we keep having conferences on unity of God and unity in God, and have courses. And thanks to God, and with the good leadership of Father Innocent and his team, apart from COVID, the period, every year we had this course. So this is the third course that for 3 weeks, some Muslims, some Christians work together as teachers and as students. And everything is done in a real sense of unity. And also, I came again in 2019 for the opening of IRDIS, which is the Center for Interreligious Dialogue at this university. So this is the third time, and I am very happy to be here. And as Father Innocent mentioned, this year the course had some extra advantages. The diversity was more, and we have more participants in the course. We have people from International Institute for Islamic Studies from Iran. We have people, graduates and teachers of Al-Mustafa College in Uganda. And we have a wide range of our Christian brothers and sisters, and some locals also. So we thank God for everything that has happened, and we ask Him to keep guiding us in every step that we take. Maybe I should start with saying a little bit about the way I was involved in interreligious dialogue and Christian-Muslim relations in particular, and some of the projects that we have had, so that what I would say later would be, sorry, what I would say later would be maybe better understood when you know the context of and the background. I was born in Tehran, in the capital of Iran, and when I was 17, I had deep search for God in my heart, and I told my parents I have to go to the seminary in Qom. I was in Tehran in a special school as a national school for talented students, and they work with them for all the years in secondary and high school. And normally everyone becomes engineer, doctor, or scientist. But a friend of mine and I, we were two people. He said we want to go for seminary studies. And even I said to my father, I cannot wait one more year, to finish my high school. So I want to go sooner, So instead of finishing my high school in Tehran, I went to Com, and then later just came to take exams at the end of the year, so I finished my high school later. So from age of 17, I have been trying to convince myself about God, about faith, and about everything that I do. I try to understand why, I should do these things and why I should believe. And I had therefore interest in philosophy and in ethics and spirituality. And this has always continued. Later, after some years, when I reached the advanced level of studies in Com, parallel to that, I started studying Western philosophy at Tehran University. I got my BA and MA in Western philosophy from Tehran University. Then I got my PhD in moral philosophy in Manchester. I went back to Com and was teaching and was head of Department of Religions at Imam Khomeini Institute. So always try to think, but also to be feeling what I believe in my heart and saying what I believe. So I try to have, I'm not saying I was successful, but I tried to have this harmony between mind and heart. With this kind of background of study, then when we were in Manchester for my PhD, so I was there from end of 96 to 2001 for my PhD, and then I did 1 year postdoc. We thought with my wife, who is also a graduate of Seminary of Com, we should look for some Christians that we can establish friendship with them. In Iran, we don't have many Christians because Christian population is very low in Iran, and they are also in some places, not everywhere. For example, in Com, we don't have Christians, apart from some who come for a study, maybe. And that's very also little in number. So we thought now that we are in UK, it's very good we use this chance to know more about Christianity as lived and practiced. We had studied texts, we had courses on other religions, but we wanted to see by our own eyes. And we had difficulty first, to find out people, because you cannot knock every door and say, do you want to have dialogue? You have to have some relation, And especially in late 90s, interfaith and interreligious dialogue forums were not that popular and not very organized. So finally what we did, we asked a friend of my wife who was in Italy and was talking about very good Christians who are focolare, and today I am happy that some of my focolare brothers and sister Faridana are here. So we said, can you put us in touch with them in UK? And then one of them, Marite from Liverpool, visited us in Manchester. And we talked, and then we heard that there is a day meeting organized by them at the University of Hope in Liverpool, which is a Christian university. And it was very interesting for us. This was the first time we were surrounded by lots of Christian faithful people, and they were talking about God, about love, about unity, something that you don't hear it that much in a secular society. Yeah. So for us as believers who had come from a religious country, it was a way to refresh ourselves with love for God coming from other believers. I remember I was sitting next to a priest. This is around maybe 97, 98, 1997. I was sitting next to a priest, Father Jonathan. He was also a Benedictine. So he's a Benedictine priest, and he is also familiar and part of the Focolare. This is the first time in my life I am sitting next to a priest, 97, 98. So we had very good, time and discussion, and I told Father Jonathan, I come from a seminary background, and I would love to know more about Christian seminaries. And now, when I reflect back, I am grateful to God that I didn't feel I come from a Muslim seminary and I hate Christian seminaries. I don't want to get even closer to them. No, that was not the way I was thinking. I said, I come from a Muslim seminary and I want to visit a Christian seminary. Because you can have two responses. When you don't know something, you can say, okay, I want to know more. And you can say, there is a question mark here. There's a, worry here. There's a fear here. Many times, not knowing leads to enmity. Our first Imam says, "An-nas a'da'u ma jahilu." People are hostile towards what they don't know. Yeah? If in your neighborhood there is a family, they never talk to anyone and you don't know what they do, yeah? They don't connect. First you become suspicious and then you may become even enemies. So my approach was different. I said, I want to know. So he suggested we can visit Ampleforth Abbey. Ampleforth Abbey is the largest abbey in the UK, belongs to Benedictines. And he said it is not a seminary, but it's a place for formation of the monks. And then we went together, we went together, and we slept overnight. And I say this because when I again reflect back, because you should always think ahead and also reflect back. So when I reflect back, I see when I'm sitting next to Father Jonathan, I don't know what is coming out of this discussion. Never underestimate, these informal, gatherings. When 2017 we came here and we talked to Father Innocent, I never thought that again and again I am going to come here. We had hope, but many times our hopes are not materialized. So when we listen to God and try to carefully go step by step, then things become, by passage of time, more clearer. So we went to Ampleforth. Now, first time sitting next to the priest, now first time being a monastery. And sleeping overnight in a monastery. But I felt so tranquil when I attended their prayers. And I love, their, Gregorian chant. And I very much enjoyed the atmosphere. And I very much enjoyed that in a secular society, there are people who devoted themselves to God. They are not Muslim, but they have devoted themselves to God. I should see the value. I should not say, either my way or no way. No. This is the way they have connected to God, and I see the value, and I can sense. You should be able to sense in people their genuineness. And I could see this is genuine. So, the late abbot of monastery at that time was Abbot Timothy Wright. And we became later very good friends. He told me, Muhammad, whenever you want to come, you can come with your family. Later, when we became good friends, he said, I was worried when you came, what this smiling face is going to do here. Because for them also was the first time to have, relation with Muslims. And they had a bad or unexpected experience. One monk had become Buddhist. And they thought perhaps this person is now another, unexpected thing. But because they believe in hospitality. They believe that you should welcome guests as they say you should see in your guests Jesus. So they welcome me and said you can come with your family. So sometimes we stay 2-3 days, sometimes whole week with my family in the monastery. Then I was able to go with my family to first Mariapolis in UK, organized by Focolare. So every summer they organized, and still they organize Mariapolis. For a week they get together. So there are Mariapolis centers which are permanent, and there are Mariapolis just as holidays. So we were there, and we took one of our also friends. We were the only Muslims around hundreds of Christians families. Again, new thing. Day and night we were together, and we very much enjoyed. And my wife decided to then change the topic of her dissertation to Love in Christianity and Islam, which was later published by New City, which is the publishing house for the Focolare. We traveled then to different places. For example, I visited St. John's College of the University of Tangaza, where they train Anglican priests. I met Anglican bishops also. So we try to explore any opportunity for knowing more Christianity. Although my study was purely philosophical, it had nothing to do with my PhD. I was also very busy to be imam of the community. We had at that time 200 PhD students from Iran, only from Iran, in Manchester. So it was a large community, but I said, I must continue this exploration of Christianity. Then in 1999, for the first time, we visited Rome. And that was, in the eve of New Millennium. There were events organized by the Vatican and also by Focolare movement. There were more than 300 Muslims who were invited from all over the world. And we visited also for a part of the program, Lopiano. Lopiano is a place which is like a small town, and this belongs to the Focolare movement, and they try to live by the spirituality of unity. All people who are there and all who go for formation, for a school of Jinn, they try to practice this spirituality. More than 300 people who went there for one day visit. But when I had heard about it, I said, we want to stay more. So we stayed 2-3 days in Lopiano. And I found that this was what from my childhood I was dreaming. From my childhood, I was always thinking of a place that all of them are good people and all of them are, lovers of God. So our exploration reached Italy, from UK to Italy, and then expanded from Canada and US up to Philippines. I have always tried to visit my Shia community and my Focolare community and my Christian brothers and sisters as well. Sometimes for a few days, sometimes just for maybe half an hour, 1 hour, whatever was possible, we tried to grow this friendship. One of the things that emerged, so when this started, it's like a tree, then lots of branches came. So for example, with the Benedictines, we started something, with Focolare something, with the Mennonite Christians something, with Anglicans something. So when I was going back to Iran in 2001, I invited one of the monks to visit us in Qom. One of the monks that was talking to me, and we had good discussions, he had PhD in theology. I said, we will be very happy if you visit us in Qom. And this is the first time I'm inviting Christians to Qom. Not that they were not invited, this is the first time I was inviting. So he said I should take permission from the abbot. He went to the abbot, and the late Abbot Timothy said, it's okay, but I also want to come. So both of them in 2002 visited us in Qom. We organized lectures for them and put posters in the city. Everyone is welcome. We have 2 Christian guests, and you are welcome to come. They had very good sessions. Later, Abbot Timothy wrote in Tablet. You may know Tablet is a Catholic English, journal. So he said, we felt that we are in a big monastery. We saw on the street billboards with the names of God. We went out with our habit everywhere. No one was looked at them as a strange thing. So we were going from Qom to Tehran in the car. We had a discussion. Something you cannot expect anything to come out of it maybe, but these moments are very important. So in the car, we were talking what would be the next step. This is 2002. And we said, okay, so let us organize something, a kind of dialogue between our communities, Catholic and Shia. So Abbot suggested to go to Ampleforth. And I said, I love, Ampleforth. I've been going there many times, but not many people from Shia community live in that area, North Yorkshire. So we decided to have a conference that part of it would be in London, part of it would be in Ampleforth. I had no training on interfaith, and I think Abbot Timothy had no training. Just with our unity, we tried to do what is right. So they said we go back to UK and find who can be our partner in London. And then they approached Heathrow College. You may know Heathrow College. Unfortunately, it's closed down now, but it was very successful college. It was run by Jesuits. Heathrow College. So we had 1-day program in London, and then we went to Ampleforth. So in July 2003, we had the first Catholic Shia dialogue in the UK, but with people coming from other countries as well. Later, Tablet wrote that this was the first major British encounter of the Catholic theologians with the Iranian thinkers and theologians. It went very well. And we decided to keep this happening every other year and also publish books. So 2004, 4 Christians visited us. This time we have 2 monks and 2 people from Heathrow College. One a layperson and one a Jesuit. We published also the first volume. Then 2005 we had the second round, 2007 the third round, but this time was in the Worth Abbey. Worth Abbey is near Gatwick. It's a famous abbey in the UK. And then we had the gap because Abbot Timothy had moved to Italy. So I had taken a group of PhD students from Qom, and I met him in Italy in San Beda College. You know, San Beda College is for the English speakers in Rome. And we tried to revive it. So we had the 4th round in Assisi, the 5th round in Qom, and then the 6th in again in Italy, and then 7th in Qom. 8th was when we came here, 2017. 9th was in UK, and now, God willing, in September the 10th will be in France. We have published so far 6 volumes. Abba Timothy and I received an award from Iran's president a few years ago before he passed away, because soon after that, because he had a cancer and he was, even when he came here, was ill. But thanks to God, before he passed away, he saw the acknowledgement. We started a very good project with University of Sofia. University of Sofia belongs to Focolare movement, is in Lopiano, and one of the top Catholic theologians, Professor Piero Coda, was the founding president. So I remember there are lots of stories, I cannot tell you all these stories, it takes a long time, although they are very useful, but I just say bits and pieces. We had a very good program when, for the second time, my wife and I took some ladies from seminary to Lopiano. For 4 weeks, we asked our Focolare friends to organize for them 4-week program, a small formation, so that they can see what Christians do for their formation. And it was very good. In that trip, I was invited to go and teach in Sofia for a program on interfaith. They offered, MA, a special MA program, and they wanted people to come and teach about interreligious dialogue from their tradition. When I went to give these lectures, I had a meeting with Professor Piero Coda. We met each other before. I told him this, and this is, for those who listened to me yesterday, many of you were there, this is something that is missing from yesterday's talk, because it's very important and I didn't have time to mention. And it helps me for the next part of the lecture. I said to Piero, we know each other for many, many years, and we are working for unity. I know you are working for unity, and I think I am also working for unity. But I have this feeling that we are stuck. We don't see, any, considerable progress. It seems there is a blockage here. On the other hand, I believe if we really struggle, God is going to guide us. The Quran says, "Alladhina jahadu fina lanahdiyannahum subulana." Those who struggle in our way, we will certainly guide them. So, if we are not receiving more guidance for future and we are stuck, in my understanding, it's because we haven't struggled enough. Now, God always guides, but you should ask for guidance. Yeah, you cannot say, He should give me anyway. Yes, there are some levels of guidance that He gives to everyone, but there are some levels that you have to ask for. So, if we really show to God that we are searching for truth and for guidance and for understanding what He wants us to do for unity, He will guide us. But this is very important, very, I think, crucial. I said, I cannot honestly say to God that I did my best for understanding your plan if I only read Muslim texts and discuss with Muslims. And you also cannot say to God, you did your best if you only read Christian texts and only discuss with Christians. We have to look for guidance everywhere. We have to benefit from every wisdom available. We have to benefit from all the messages of God, so that we can say, we tried every possible way of understanding your will. So I suggested to him, let us get together every few months and we discuss. But we don't discuss as a Muslim and a Christian, or a group of Muslims, a group of Christians, one sitting on one side of the desk and table, others on the other side having respectful dialogue. No, we have passed that stage. We have, alhamdulillah, had more than 20 years of experiencing that. It's not dialogue between us and you. No. We get together, we share our thoughts, we ask God for guidance, then we both try to listen to God, not listening to each other. We both try to listen to God, but with two ears. We listen to God with a Muslim ear and a Christian ear. Sometimes God speaks to both ears, sometimes maybe He has spoken to one ear. Sometimes a Muslim saint or a Christian saint may have received inspiration. Sometimes maybe the same inspiration has come to Muslims and Christians. We don't know. And it doesn't matter. Honestly, does it matter whether something comes from a Christian mouth or a Muslim mouth, as long as it comes from God? Does it matter? I think theoretically it shouldn't matter, but I think in practice it's very difficult. If something comes from God, for me it must come from a Muslim mouth or from a Christian mouth, otherwise I cannot accept it. This is wrong. You are limiting your encounter with God. God can speak to you through any platform. Even a child can sometimes say something. Even your enemies can sometimes tell you what God wants. So why you cannot free yourself from ego and say, I want to listen to God. God, you decide. We as believers sit together, we share our understanding, but we know we are very limited in our understanding. We need your guidance. You choose. You want to help me to share with my brothers, you want to help them, and they share with me. It doesn't matter. You have experience of dialogue. What do you do normally in dialogue? For example, you are supposed to have a presentation. By the way, how much time I have for this session?
Maybe in the next 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. Yes, great. That's great. For example, for dialogue, okay, so you are Christians, you are Muslims, you have dialogue on a topic. For example, on topic of suffering. When you are a Christian and a Christian speaks and a Muslim speaks, what do you do in your heart? Many times, I'm not saying always, but I'm sure many times each side prays to God. God helps us to show how great we are in our faith, in our tradition. How great are our resources. Let us share with them so that they can see what you have done for us. But this is not the sign of maturity. If this dialogue is for the sake of God, you should pray for both parties. God, please help us and help them to do great today and bring the best that they have in tradition so that we can share your gifts and we can be grateful. If you as a Muslim or Christian are only grateful to the blessings of God to your community, you are not grateful enough. I should be grateful to God for all the great things that have happened in Christianity. And Christians should be also grateful to God for every great thing that has happened in Muslim community. When I pass by a church or a mosque, what should be my feeling? When I pass by my own place of worship, I get happy. When I pass by the other one, I don't feel anything or I feel bad. Is this what a person, a man or woman of God feels? Or your feeling is that I am passing by a place where God is remembered. God is worshipped. If people don't go to these places of worship, what do they do? It's not that if they don't go to that place, they come to my place. For many people, this is the only way to connect to God. If they don't go to that place, then it means that they are declining in their faith. I should not be happy if a Christian is not going to the church. I feel terrible if Christians don't go to the church. And I think good Christians also feel the same. If they say Muslims, for example, youths are losing their faith, they shouldn't feel happy. They should feel sad. So, our project, Wings of Unity, is to get together with honesty, with sincerity, with humility, share our ideas, but then go to silence mode and listen to God. Unfortunately, we many times don't let God speak because we have received so many things that we want to repeat them to God. Yes, these things that we have received are very important, but let us sometimes go to silence and just let God speak. Maybe God has something new to tell us. Maybe God has something to inspire us. Maybe we didn't understand something that is now causing problem for us. Why we cannot let God correct us? And when we are together, the chance of receiving help is more. Because when we have the best of each tradition in their knowledge, in their expertise, but also in their devotion, sitting together and praying to God and asking for guidance, this is bringing blessings of God more easily. So we decided to embark on this project, and Piero accepted. And later he said many times that he felt this is, a kind of suggestion that he should accept. He said some words that I don't want to say it because you have to hear from him. So he said, what should we call this? I had not thought about name because I didn't know he's going to accept or not. And just a little bit silence, and I said, Wings of Unity. And he welcomed, because unity needs two wings, like a bird. Muslims alone cannot establish unity. Christians alone cannot establish unity. No tradition alone can establish universal fraternity. We need to work together. And then we decided to have these rounds. So far we had 9 rounds of Wings of Unity. The last time was in May. And the theme of the first round was unity of God and unity in God, which we keep referring to that. And also with Tangaza, we are working under the same theme of unity of God and unity in God. And thanks to God, we have a book of the first 3 lectures that I gave about this topic of unity of God and unity in God in Sofia, which is recently also translated to Italian. So this is a little bit of background with some reflections, and God willing, after break, we now share some more theological ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shomali, for this introduction, beginning with your own personal journey. And as you were sharing, I remembered Pope Paul VI, when his document Evangelii Nuntiandi, 1975, he says, modern man listen more to witnesses than to teachers. And if he listens to teachers, it's because they are witnesses. And that's powerful. When you begin from your own personal experience, your personal journey, it's much more appealing and convincing. And this is the journey we are also embarked on. And maybe some years later, we'll look back again and say, this is where we came from, with Tangaza University and College. And yesterday we were just talking in the car, and then you did not want to say that the program is unique, even that's what you had on your lips. But I said that I was with the Dean of Theology of the Faculty of Theology at St. Paul's University and in Ottawa, and said this program is unique. And this morning you were talking about your meeting with the Anglican Archbishop of Canterbury, and he said, can we start something similar, which you don't find in universities? And I also replied that last week I was with the Anglican Archbishop on the same table, and he said, I would like to come and visit Tangaza and see what we are doing. This is just the first step. We are sowing seeds of unity, and we need both things to move together. So to our viewers who are online, we are going to break for half an hour, and then we'll come now and continue with the talk by Dr. Shomali. So we'll come back after in half an hour. Thank you.
Thank you.